We are going to continue reading from the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have been reading the part of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada has been giving us a brief summary of the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya really upheld Bhagavad Dharma. He encouraged everyone to read Srimad Bhagavatam and live by the principles of Bhagavatam. He himself lived by the principles of Bhagavatam. We are reading the section where he's instructing to Rupa Goswami at Prayag at the Dashameda Ghat. And he's speaking about pure devotional service. So would somebody like to read?
Can I read?
Please, yes.
Pure devotional service must be freed from all desires for sense gratification, fruitive aspirations, and culture of monistic knowledge. One must be freed from all kinds of designations, and when one is thus converted to transcendental purity, one can then serve the Lord by purified senses.
Oh. Okay, we can continue this one also and we can speak together.
As long as there is the desire to enjoy sensually or to become one with the Supreme or to possess the mystic powers, there is no question of attaining the stage of pure devotional service.
So Lord Chaitanya is explaining what is pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means the only desire is to please Krishna, to please God. There is no other desire. No desire, no material desire, no desire for mystic perfection, no desire to become one with God. And at that stage, one can understand one's position as part and parcel of God. Understands I'm spirit soul, I'm part and parcel of God. So because the soul has understood I'm a part and parcel of God, I'm the spirit soul, he's understood I'm not the body, so he has no material desires. And he has no desire for the 8 kind of Ashtasiddhi, the mystic perfections. He has no desire for that. Because he's understood I'm not the body, I'm the soul. And in this stage, then he begins his devotional service to God, to Krishna, with purified senses. This is pure devotional service. So one must be freed from all kind of designations. So what are the designations? Anyone?
I'm Indian, I'm this body, I'm man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We have all these designations, and these designations are pertaining to the body, Indian, I'm man or woman, I'm a whatever,
Mother.
sister, mother, and wife, and so many designations, you know. So, but all these designations are to the body. The soul has no such designation. The constitutional position of the soul, as told by Lord Chaitanya, Jivera Swarubhai Krishna Nityadas. Everyone is eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna ends his teachings in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmam Parityagya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayashyami Ma Sucha. Krishna says, surrender unto me. So he's already telling us there is a relationship. Krishna is superior. We are his subordinate. And Lord Chaitanya, he begins his teachings from that point. So does anyone know the Sanskrit verse of this pure devotional service? Anyabhilasita Shunyam?
Anyabhilashita Shunyam.
Yeah. Anyabhilasita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttamam. So this is that one must be free from material desire, free from I'm so sorry. Free from the desire to become one with God, free from desire from mystic perfection, and following in the example of the previous acharyas. One must follow the previous acharyas. In this way, one must favorably and render service to Krishna. So we'll continue reading.
Devotional service is conducted under two categories, namely primary practice and spontaneous emotion. When one can rise to the platform of spontaneous emotion, he can make further progress by spiritual attachment, feeling love, and many higher stages of devotional life, for which there are no English words. We have tried to explain the science of devotional service in our book, The Nectar of Devotion, based on the authority of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami.
So,
Transcendental, okay, sorry, I stopped.
sorry. Yeah. So devotional service, two categories. Primary practice, that's sadhana bhakti. That's what we are doing. Doing bhakti by following rules and regulations. And raganuga bhakti. This is a spontaneous emotion where the attachment for Krishna is already there. So the sadhana bhakti has these two categories. One is the Vaidhi bhakti. Vaidhi is this following rules and regulations, and then Raganuga, in which there's so much attachment for Krishna that one wants to do it. That attraction is already there. When we love someone, then automatically we want to do things for them. It could be anything. We want to cook for them, we want to help them, we want to please them, we want to be with them, we want to glorify them. We love someone, we want to do. It's natural for us to do. Similarly, we have this natural feeling towards Krishna. That is, of course, very high stage of advancement. Now, one may say, but I don't have that natural feeling. Doesn't matter. We continue to do all the practices because following the rules and regulations, because we are asked to do so. We continue to hear, we continue to chant, continue to worship the deity, you know, because we are asked to do that. It's good for us. So that is Vaidhi Bhakti, primary practice. Of course, when one reaches the Raganuga platform, that's very high stages. One has natural love for Krishna, natural attachment. And as Prabhupada is saying, there's no English words. So a lot of the details of devotional service is given in Nectar of Devotion, which is based on the book Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is written by Srila Rupa Goswami, one of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. And he wrote this book based on the teachings he received from Lord Chaitanya.
Transcendental devotional service has 5 stages of reciprocation. 1. The self realization stage, just after liberation from material bondage, is called the Shanta or the neutral stage. Number 2. After that, when there is development of transcendental knowledge of the Lord's internal opulences, the devotee engages himself in the Ashya stage. Number 3, by further development of the Dasya stage, a respectful fraternity with the Lord develops. And above that, a feeling of friendship or equal terms become manifest. Both these stages are called the Sakhya stage or devotional service in friendship. Number 4, above this is the stage of parental affection towards the Lord, and this is called the Vatsalya stage. Number 5, and above this is the stage of conjugal love, and this stage is called the highest stage of love of God, although there is no difference in quality in any of the above stages. The last stage of conjugal love of God is called the Madhurya stage.
So Lord Chaitanya is going on to explain the ras that each soul has with Krishna. Each of us have a loving relationship with God, with Krishna. in any of these five rasas. Any, it could be in any. These are all transcendental. This is of the soul, the relationship of the soul with Krishna, the soul with God. So we, in our material world, we have the experience that material relationships are temporary. But because those relationships are based on the body, that's why they are temporary. But our relationship with God, our relationship with Krishna is eternal because the soul is eternal. Krishna is eternal, so our relationship with him is eternal. So the first stage, first development of this relationship is the Shanta stage, where the soul realizes, I'm a part and parcel of God. So he has that appreciation for God, he has love for God, he's understood I'm part and parcel. He's not yet begun any service, but at least that appreciation is there. He's just gotten liberated. So this is how the explanation is being given. Self-realization stage just after liberation from material bondage. So he's understood, I'm not the body, I'm part and parcel of God. So this is Shanta. He has that appreciation for God, for Krishna. Then he continues his bhakti. He continues hearing and chanting. Then he gets more knowledge. He understands how great God is. And when he understands how great God is, he automatically wants to serve God. When we see someone who's greater than us, they are more qualified than us, then it's very natural for us to submit ourselves to them. We want to serve them, we want to hear from them. It's very natural. We see somebody's higher than us in any field, it could be in any field, so we automatically submit to them. Similarly, the soul, the more he continues hearing and chanting, his love continues to grow more and more. So he starts engaging in service. That is Dasya stage. Then continues, uh, the one continues engaging in devotional service. The love keeps on getting sweeter and sweeter and comes to Sakhya, friendship, looking like equals. Yeah. Then there is like how Krishna had friends like Subal, Sridham. So joking, friendly, like that. All this is love of God. Then comes love gets more deeper. One wants to take care of Krishna as a baby, like Mother Yashoda. And when the love is even more sweeter, then one wants to love Krishna in all the capacities. You see, as a lover, so when the relationship is of conjugal love, one is being a friend, one is being a servant, one is taking care like a parent. All the rasa are included in this Madhurya ras. That's why it's called the highest stage love of God. And this is what especially Lord Chaitanya taught us, that the gopis' love is the highest love of God, Madhurya stage. Can you continue to read?
Thus, he instructed Rupa Goswami in devotional science and deputed him to Vrindavan to excavate the lost sites of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. After this, the Lord returned to Varanasi and delivered the sannyasis and instructed the elder brother of Rupa Goswami. We have already discussed this.
So Lord Chaitanya, after he instructed Rupa Goswami, he sent to Vrindavan. He sent these Goswamis to Vrindavan because the place of the pastimes of the Lord were almost covered up. Radha Kund, Sham Kund, they had become like kind of tiny pools of water, not like how it is today, the temples. So he sent them to Vrindavan to write the Bhakti Shastras, write the books on devotional service, and also to excavate the pastime places. of Lord Krishna.
Somebody would like to read?
I can read.
Okay.
8 shlokas of its instructions in writing, and they are known as the Siktataka. All other literatures of his divine cult were extensively written by the Lord's principal followers, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana, and their followers. The cult of Chaitanya philosophy is richer than any other, and it is admitted to be the living religion of the day with the potency for spreading the Vishwadharma or universal religion. We are glad that the matter has been taken up by some enthusiastic sages like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Goswami Maharaj, and his disciples. We shall eagerly wait for the happy days of Bhagavata Dharma or Prema Dharma, inaugurated by the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The 8 shlokas completed by the Lord are: first, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
So Lord Chaitanya, he left the major writings to his disciples, Rup Sanatan Goswami, all the Jiva Goswami. They've given wonderful, wonderful books. But he himself personally wrote only 8 paragraphs that are called the Shikshastaka. The Shikshastaka prayers begins, this is the first verse. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana. So glory to the Harinam Sankirtan, chanting of the holy names congregationally. Now, what happens when one chants the holy name? When one chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? It cleanses the heart of all dust accumulated for years. So our consciousness, the consciousness of the soul is pure consciousness, is Krishna consciousness. But right now, it's been covered. We have become material conscious now. It's become contaminated. So when we chant this Hare Krishna mantra, our heart gets cleaned, means our consciousness is getting cleaned. Extinguishes the fire of conditional life. This material world is compared to a forest fire, blazing forest fire. So when one chants the holy name, it helps us get out of this material world of repeated birth and death. It helps us clean our consciousness, helps us realize our identity, and helps us get out of this material world, gives us liberation. It is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. So once one is free from this material world, one understands himself as part and parcel of God. One feels happy, very blissful, joyful. The soul is always joyful. And knowledge. One gets all this transcendental knowledge. The knowledge is revealed to us when we are chanting the holy name. We feel blissful, we get knowledge, and we taste the nectar. We are always wanting some kind of joy, some kind of experience. We are always looking for that. And we will get that only when we chant Hare Krishna. Fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. It completely satisfies the soul.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy name. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
So then Lord Chaitanya goes on to say he's taking our position. First, he's saying, giving us the benefits of chanting the holy names. Then he's saying our position that Krishna, you have given, Krishna and his names are non-different. Non-different. In the material world, the name and the object are different. Water, when we say water, 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 the name water is different than the object water. Our thirst doesn't get quenched. We can't taste the water. But on the absolute platform, the Lord and his names are non-different. When we are chanting Krishna, that's Krishna himself. Govinda, that's Govinda himself. So Lord Chaitanya is saying there are hundreds and millions of names. But I am so unfortunate that I am no attraction to chant these names. They're not even hard and fast rules, There's no hard rules to chant the holy name. We can chant at any time, in any condition, wherever we are. But we have no attraction to chant. That's our position. So he's saying that we are so unfortunate that we do not want to chant the holy name, where the holy name alone can render all benediction, because Kali Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan. The Vedas have said that in this age of Kali, the only way of perfection is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, the chanting the holy names. But we are unfortunate that we have no attraction to them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
So this is the foundational verse. This is the foundational verse on how one can actually chant the holy name constantly. Lord Chaitanya is saying, humble state of mind, with humility. Think oneself lower than the straw in the street. The grass, one tramples on the grass bends down, it goes up again after one has walked over, but it bends down. Then more tolerant than a tree. Tree gives us fruit, gives us shade, gives us, so many helpful things. Yet we cut the trees, and trees don't protest. So Lord Chaitanya is saying, tolerate whatever is coming. Be humble and give all respect to others. Don't expect any for ourselves. And in such a state, one can chant the holy name constantly. Now, how can we reach in such a state? To reach such a state, we have to chant. Then we will be truly humble, truly tolerant. Uh, we'll be able to offer respect to others and not expect. When we understand that I am part and parcel of Krishna, when we can humble ourselves before Krishna, understanding I am just 1/10,000, the part, 1/10,000, the tip of a hair. That is our real position. So the more we chant, the more we will be able to imbibe these qualities. And Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he said we should tie this verse around our neck. Never forget it. This is a foundation on which we can continue to chant.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
Now Lord Chaitanya is telling us how does a pure devotee, what does a pure devotee desire? The pure devotee, he does not want wealth, he does not want men or women, and he does not want followers. No, no, he doesn't want any puja, la, pratishtha, like we feel happy. Oh, people are praising, people. But the pure devotee, no, he doesn't want any like that. What he wants only pure devotional service. And he's saying birth after birth. He's saying birth after birth means in any condition, wherever he is, he just wants pure devotional service. Uh, so pure devotional service is actually liberation. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na sochati na kangshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. He says that in chapter 18, text 54, that pure devotional service begins from the point of liberation. When one is liberated, one engages in pure devotional service. So what Lord Chaitanya is saying, the pure devotee is praying for not liberation. Because what happens after liberation? After liberation, the soul engages in service to Krishna. So this is what he wants. He wants pure devotional service. He wants to engage. He wants to personally serve Krishna.
O son of Maharaja Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet.
So Lord Chaitanya is praying that I am your eternal servant. That's Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nitya Das. We are eternally servants of Krishna. He's showing us how we can pray to Krishna. And he's specifying that he's praying to Brajendra Nandan Krishna. He's praying to son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna and Vrindavan, Sham Sundar Krishna. Sham Sundar Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Govinda, Gopala. He's the original personality of Godhead. So Lord Chaitanya is praying to him. He's saying, I'm your eternal servant. Says somehow or other, somehow the other we have fallen in this material world. And now we have fallen. So someone may say, why we have fallen? Where have I come from? Why am I here? Why am I here? But Lord Chaitanya is saying, don't worry too much about that. Worry how to get out of here. Once one is sick already, first thing we have to do is get a cure. Let me see how I can get treated. So please pick me up from this ocean of birth and death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. So taking shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. That is our natural position. So Lord Chaitanya is teaching us how to pray, what our mood should be. So when one chants humbly, when one chants properly, automatically the material desires go away. Desires for wealth, puja, la, pratishtha, all these desires goes away and one gets the desire for pure devotional service. Then one wants to be going to the spiritual world. One wants to have personal association with Krishna. One wants to personally please Krishna.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with the tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will all the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
And so then one is continuing to chant the holy name. And then one gets this attachment for Krishna. He's getting the attachment that he's saying, when will I experience this bhav, this ecstasy? Yeah. As one is chanting, one is getting these emotions for Krishna. As we get more and more purified, more and more Krishna conscious, the love gets sweeter and sweeter. So he's saying, when will I be decorated? But someone will say, oh my God, if I have to chant, then I'm going to cry. But here, tears of love. When we are very happy, we automatically, there's tears in our eyes. So this is tears of love, not tears of sorrow, tears of love. He's saying, when will I be able to do that? When will my voice choke up? It's out of intense emotion, the bhav for Krishna.
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
So Lord Chaitanya is showing us to love Krishna in separation. One continues to chant the holy name and one will come to this stage, feel separation from Krishna, to be with Krishna. And this is the gopis. The gopis, they would just blink their eyes and they would curse Lord Brahma, oh, the creator, he does not know how to create. Why? Because he created eyelids. Why? Oh, because for that one moment we can't see Krishna. So that's how the gopis love Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is saying this is how we should be having this love for Krishna, love in separation. Not that, yeah, I met Krishna and then I danced with him in the night. No, loving in separation. Where are you, Krishna? That's how the six Goswamis also taught. Where is Lalita? Where is Vishaka? Where is Srimati Radharani? Where is Krishna? So having that deep separation for Krishna, and this is not artificial, it can't be imitated. It comes as one advances. These are very high stages of advancement. But Lord Chaitanya is saying that they are possible. One simply has to chant the holy name.
Does anyone else wants to read?
This is the last one.
Okay. I'll just read.
Hmm.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so if he so even that if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken hearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
So Lord Chaitanya is revealing the mood of Srimati Radharani. In the seventh verse, the gopis separation, and now the 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 highest love is Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna. This cannot be imitated by us. And so she calls Krishna a debauchee, that you're going wherever you want to do, but I can't help it. I can't stop loving you. Whatever you do, you want me to, if it pleases you that I'm unhappy, then I accept this sorrow for your pleasure. So anything, everything. You are always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. So this is the mood of Srimati Radharani that Lord Chaitanya is telling us. So these are the Shikshastakam prayers. Many devotees recite the prayers every day, or sometimes, especially every day in Kartik. It's good to memorize these prayers. These are, of course, just the translations. The original verses are there also. So this brings us to the end of introduction. Did anyone have any comments, any questions? Want to add anything? If no, then we can proceed to the chapter 1, Canto 1, chapter 1. Questions by the sages. The chapter 1 is entitled Questions by the Sages. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
जन्माद्यस्य यतो अन्वयात् इतरश्चार्थेष्व अभिज्ञस्वराट्
जन्माद्यस्य यतो
Janmasya
अन्वयात्
yatoya
रतश्च
itarata
Itarata
pratisha
Harteshu
abhijana
Abhidya
swara.
Swarat.
तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि कवये मोहयन्ति यत्सूर्यः
तेने
Tene
ब्रह्मा
brahma
हृदय
hridaya
आदि
adi
कवये
kavaye
मोयन्ति
moyati
सूर्य
yat
सूर्याय
suryaha.
तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा
तेजो
Tejo
Tejo vari
वारिमृतं
Varimridam
mridam
यथा
yatha
विनिमयो
vinyamayo
यत्र
yatri sargo
सर्गो
Amrisha.
mrisha.
मृषा
धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि
Dhamana
भमना
Svena
स्वेन
Sada
सदा निरशता कुहाकं
Satyam param
सत्यं परं
dhimahi.
धीमहि
Would somebody like to read?
I can read.
Please.
I'm waiting for the screen to come. No, still not.
This is the first canto, first chapter, first verse, and Shla Vyasadeva is speaking this because he is the compiler, no?
Okay. O my Lord Shri
Yeah.
Krishna, son of Vasudev, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all the causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge onto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representation of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally sorry, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusionary representation of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth.
So we can see, first chapter, first canto, first verse, Srimad Bhagavatam. Immediately, Shla Vyasadeva is informing us who is the absolute truth. Yeah, immediately. That's the beginning of Bhagavatam.
Obeisances onto the personality of Godhead, Vasudev, directly indicates Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudev and Devaki. This fact will be more explicitly explained in the text of this work. Sri Vyasadeva asserts herein that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portions or portions of the portions. Srila Jiva Goswami had even more explicitly explained subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha. And Brahma, the original living being, has explained the subject of Sri Krishna sustainably in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. In an Upanishad, in the Samved, it is also stated that Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of the king. Therefore, in this prayer, the first preposition holds the Lord Sri Krishna is the primeval Lord, and if any transcendental nomenclature is to be understood as belonging to the absolute personality of Godhead, it must be the name indicated by the word Krishna, which means the all attractive. In Bhagavad Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead. And this is confirmed by Arjuna and also by the great sages like Narad, Vyas, and many others. In the Padma Puran, it is also stated that out of the innumerable names of the Lord, the name of Krishna is the principal one. Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, and all the different forms of the Lord, being identical with Vasudeva, are indicated in this text. The name Vasudev particularly indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Sri Krishna is always meditated upon by Paramhamsas, who are perfected ones among those in the renounced order of life.
So Srila Vyasadeva is offering obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Because someone may ask who's Vasudeva, or someone may make up this one is Vasudeva or that one. He's saying no, the son of Vasudeva. So the absolute truth, he is a person. God is a person. Immediately, Srila Vyasadeva begins Bhagavatam with this, making us understand that absolute truth is a person. His name is Sri Krishna, and all the incarnations, expansions, everyone is coming from Sri Krishna. The Mahavishnus, as we read on, we will see, there's so many incarnations. Ite cham sakalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. There's so many expansions of God, so many incarnations of God, but they're all coming from Krishna. The original personality of Godhead is Krishna. Like there will be an original candle. From this original candle, we can light so many other candles. And all the other candles will be equal in heat and light, but yet the original candles. So the other candles are compared to the expansions of Krishna, his incarnations. Yet the original personality of Godhead is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And the scriptures, they all state Krishna to be the absolute truth. God has many names, but the most appropriate name is Krishna, means all attractive. So all the great authorities, they boldly declare that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Krishna himself says that in Bhagavad Gita. We'll continue to read.
Somebody would like to read?
Yeah, I can read. Hare Krishna.
Please. Yeah, please.
Vasudev, or Lord Sri Krishna, is the cause of all causes. Everything that exists emanates from the Lord. How this is so is explained in later chapters of this work. This work is described by Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya as the spotless Purana because it contains the transcendental narration of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The history of the Srimad Bhagavatam is also very glorious. It was compiled by Sri Vyasadeva after he had attained maturity in transcendental knowledge. He wrote this under the instructions of Sri Naradji. his spiritual master. Vyasadeva compiled all Vedic literatures containing the four divisions of the Vedas, the Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and so on. But nevertheless, he was not satisfied. His dissatisfaction was observed by his spiritual master, and thus Narada advised him to write on the transcendental activities of Lord Sri Krishna. These transcendental activities are described specifically in the 10th canto of this work. But in order to reach the very substance, one must proceed gradually by developing knowledge of the categories.
Oh, Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport, Lord Krishna, Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. And as we continue reading Bhagavatam, we will be able to understand this because Bhagavatam is explaining to us how Krishna is the cause of all causes. We say God is great, but by studying Bhagavatam, we can understand how great God is. And when we understand how great God is, automatically we'll realize, oh, I'm not God. Only God is God, and He's worthy of my worship. Automatically, we want to surrender to someone who's great. So, how great God is, we get to know in this Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya calls this the Amala Puran, spotless Puran. As we will hear in the next verse, that there is no kind of cheating religion, no Kaitava Dharma. There's only pure religion is there. Sanatan Dharma is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, in every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva after he wrote the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas. He had written so much, yet he was dissatisfied. And his spiritual master, Narad Muni, said, because he had not directly spoken about Lord Krishna and devotional service to him. So this is the reason, Lord, this is the reason Srila Vyasadeva then compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Lord Krishna, the activities of Lord Krishna. So these are specifically in the 10th canto, but we should not jump to the 10th canto. We should hear from the beginning, from the first canto, so that we will be able to understand the 10th canto.
It is natural that a philosophical mind wants to know about the origin of the creation. At night, he sees the stars in the sky and he naturally speculates about their inhabitants. Such inquiries are natural for men because man has a developed consciousness which is higher than that of the animals. The author of Srimad Bhagavatam gives a direct answer to such inquiries. He says that the Lord Sri Krishna is the origin of all creations. He is not only the creator of the universe, but the destroyer as well. The manifested cosmic nature is created at a certain period by the will of the Lord. It is maintained for some time and then it is annihilated by his will. Therefore, the supreme will is behind all cosmic activities. Of course, there are atheists of various categories who do not believe in a creator, but that is due to a poor fund of knowledge. The modern scientist, for example, has created space satellites, and by some arrangement or other, these satellites are thrown into outer space to fly for some time at the control of the scientist who is far away. Similarly, all the universes with innumerable stars and planets are controlled by the intelligence of the personality of Godhead.
Krishna Prabhupada is pointing out, we are curious. How did the creation happen? We look up in the sky, who's created the stars, the planets, what's happening, who's the creator, who created the sun and the moon. So it's natural inquiry. Animals don't have that inquiry because their consciousness is not developed. But it's natural for a human being to have this inquiry. And immediately, Srila Vyasadeva is saying, Krishna is the creator. No need to guess, no guesswork, no beating around the bush. You know, immediately he's saying, Krishna is the creator, the maintainer, and highlighter. This whole material cosmic manifestation is under the control of Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah. So as no beating around the bush, so as to say. Srila Vyasadeva is just immediately pointing us the supreme position of Krishna.
In Vedic literatures, it is said that the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, is the chief amongst all personalities. All living beings, beginning from the first created being, Brahma, down to the smallest ant, are individual living beings. And above Brahma, there are even other living beings with individual capacities. And the personality of Godhead is also a similar living being, and he is an individual, as are the other living beings. But the Supreme Lord or the Supreme Living Being has the greatest intelligence, and he possesses supermost inconceivable energies of all different varieties. If a man's brain can produce a space satellite, one can very easily imagine how brains higher than man can produce similarly wonderful things which are far superior. The reasonable person will easily accept this argument, but there are stubborn atheists who would never agree. Srila Vyasadeva, however, at once accepts the supreme intelligence as the Parameshwara. He offers his respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Intelligence addressed as the Para or the Parameshwara or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that Parameshwara is Sri Krishna, as admitted in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures delivered by Sri Vyasadeva. And specifically in this Srimad Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that there is no other para tattva samam bonam than himself. Therefore, Sri Vyasadeva at once worships the para tattva, Sri Krishna, whose transcendental activities are described in the 10th canto.
So, Parameshwar, who is the Parameshwar? That's Krishna. Krishna himself is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, and Srila Vyasadeva is saying it in Srimad Bhagavatam. All the Vedas are saying it. All the great authorities are saying it. To help us explain, Srila Prabhupada is saying, we have intelligence, but we also have to admit that there are others who are more intelligent than us. We see the scientists, they are creating these great, great machines, sending them into space. They are really intelligent than us. So intelligence is relative, right? There's someone having some intelligence, another has higher intelligence. Now they are higher beings, so they will have higher intelligence than the human being. Huh? It's natural, no? Like we have higher intelligence than the animals. So similarly, there's higher living beings, and God is the highest supreme living being. So he has the greatest intelligence. We are all individual living beings. Whether we are in the body of an ant or body of Lord Brahma, we are all individual living souls. And God, he is a living soul also. He is the supreme living soul. He's gotten the supreme intelligence. So we have intelligence, but God's intelligence is the greatest. We have potency also, but God's potencies are the greatest. We say God is omnipotent. So he has inconceivable energies, inconceivable. That's why he's called Parmeshwar. And Srila Vyasadeva is saying, offer respectful obeisances unto God, unto Parmeshwar, to understand there is a difference between God and me. Because we may continue with our infatuation thinking that I'm God or I may become God. But Srila Vyasadeva immediately is pointing out the supreme position of God, of Sri Krishna. The Upanishads, they say that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. There are so many souls, so many eternals. But among all these souls, so many eternal souls, there is one eternal soul who's maintaining all other souls. And that is Krishna. That is God. God is maintaining each and every one of us, not only in the material world, also the spiritual world. So we'll have to stop here for today. Did anyone have any questions or comments? No, then stop here. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare